The following program is sponsored by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Hello, everybody. I am waiting for a tune. I hear a tune now. Food, glorious food. There we are. Welcome, everybody, to another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. It is a rare home show today. We haven't had one of these in a while, and I think it's the only one of the month. And it is going to be a very fun, special one. We've got all three of the gang on hand, Mike Lubie Lubitz, Jeff Defo DeForest, and we're going to have a special guest in the second half of the show today, a return engagement. A visit from a very funny individual and a talented one, too. Paul Mecurio, who's bringing his one-man show that's called Permission to Speak to the Broward Center later this week. It's also a big week because today, gentlemen, it is here. The day of, well, I'm not going to say reckoning for me, but it's the day of much reckoning of calories. We can keep a count. What's the over-under on the amount of calories I consume this week at the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival, Jeff Defo DeForest?
Did you say this week?
Yes.
How much time you got?
Total
Total calories consumed by Mike Mayo this week just at the festival events.
Just at the festival events. And I'm not even going to count this lunch that I have.
I'm going to say an average of 4,000 calories per event. So how many events?
I think I'm judging two and going to another three.
Calories,
and I'm going tonight. This is going to be fun because this is the first time. It's the traditional kickoff to the festival is at our friend Reno Sir Bones Heritage Restaurant in fashionable Flagler Village in Fort Lauderdale. And I did not grovel. I did not schnorr. I did things in a completely astounding way, which was, well, I didn't purchase tickets, but
you let somebody else pay.
Val knew that it sounded like a fun event. She's a big fan of Reno's, and we are regulars at Heritage. And we said, why not kick in a little bit of our own money? I have some funds now, thanks to a home sale and the great insurance companies of South Florida. And so to benefit the Joe DiMaggio's Children's Hospital, which is the overall beneficiary this week, which is a wonderful cause. They do great work for kids and again for those who are in need, who don't have the means to get proper medical care. They do all kinds of wonderful things at the Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital as part of the Memorial Regional Network. But before we get in and diving into all the food, did I have a busy weekend, and it involved somebody named the Big Salami, who was a woman poker player named the Big Salami. That's a little scary. And then that led to a big tuber, which I wrote about this morning, which is the twice-baked loaded cacio e pepe baked potato at Runway 84. And then we have contest winners, and we've got all other kinds of things. We also had a big weekend of football. Gentlemen, how was your weekends? We'll start with you, Defo. I heard you actually hit a score. Did you use my method of betting the Fletcher first-timers on Saturday at Gulfstream?
I forgot all about that because it was a theory from somebody else. But I wasn't even that aware of who I was betting on because I went with a very limited bankroll at the track. And this... I was just, going to mess around, hang out with my friends there, and bet a couple of dollars. So I'm making very weenie-esque bets by any standard, including my own. And I managed to blow through the first 60 of the $70 I had in a matter of seconds. And I turned around, took that last 10, turned it into several hundred, and couldn't have felt any better. Ate dinner at Faraday's.
Nice.
I saw that got
How much did you pay for that?
I don't know that I would go out of my way to go to Faraday's as a restaurant. But certainly on the comp system that the Mustang enjoys, it is a fabulous restaurant.
When the price is right, free is me, right? So
it's not bad. As casino restaurants go, I wouldn't say it was the most outstanding, but it's far from the most overpriced. It's not even, I wouldn't even put it in that category. By casino restaurant standards, pricing there is very reasonable.
Hey, did you see the Coach family went to Gulfstream for their contest redemption yesterday at 10 Palms, and they posted a nice thing on Let's Eat about how great it was and how great the omelet lady is. I think her name is Rose. I'm not sure. I always forget the omelet ladies, but the she makes the best omelets, and she posted a picture of the omelet and she thanked me. I was like, don't thank me, thank Joe Baser. They're the ones that paid Joseph.
Exactly.
Gulfstream. So they had a fantastic time. So as far as casino restaurants go, that's great. I had a hankering. I have a long and winding story, which I don't know if I want to. I will tell it because right now I'm eating the remnants of two wonderful things. One of them, that twice baked potato from Runway 84. I was able to snag 2 seats at the bar using the bat signal last night. And then I just had a hankering for steak and this baked potato. I just wanted this dish. It's called the cacio e
That's
pepe
freaking great.
twice baked
delicious.
potato with shaved black truffles. It's a side dish that goes for $22, and it can basically feed a small African nation. It is like so big. And like Val and I, we split a steak. We split a nice house salad. We split a baked potato, and that was it. It was like a perfect meal for two, where you can split 3 items, and the 3 food items was like $120 for dinner for two for a premium prime steak and a potato like this, where there's enough for left over. I mean, I was just raving, and Falsetto was nice enough to get me set up at the bar on short notice. And that place, oh my God, I mean, it's been almost 2 years since Runway 84 reopened after their big renovation, and it is the toughest seat in town still. And it's just every night is New Year's Eve in there. Have you had a chance, besides the shows, to go in for dinner when the entertainment is on there, Defo, yet?
I have not, but I would be a big fan of going there. I always was, and I think they've done nothing but upgrade what was already a fabulous experience. So
yeah, and they have the steak. They have the steak program now. Like, besides the great traditional Italian food, and they've always had like really good the Sunday gravy and the lasagna, and they have this like pasta with cauliflower dish that's world famous. They have a great swordfish dish for that people that want to pretend to be healthier and eat fish. Tony Segreto eats the swordfish every time he goes.
Loves swordfish. Yes.
Yeah, and but the steak program that they put in, they get it from the same beef fabricator that supplies Peter Luger's in New York, but it's out of Chicago. Prime USDA meat, and it's fantastic. And it's like cooked properly, seasoned properly. And I'm a very happy fat man today. And me, I'm supposed to take it easy on the weekend heading into the food festival, but no, I'm doing a little like Joey Chestnut. I'm doing some exercises on my stomach. So I figure I've got to do that. The other thing I'm eating, Defo, is remnants that was in the freezer that we defrosted this weekend for a party that Val and I went to. It is the red beans with the sausage, the andouille sausage and red beans that Tom T makes. The best. I mean, you love his lasagna. I mean, if somebody put a gun to your head and said you can only have one Tom T dish, which one would it be?
Probably saying a lasagna, but I don't really think there's much to separate. They're all great. I know you kind of panned his jambalaya, which I think is fantastic. I don't know of anything that the guy does that isn't top notch.
See, I'd feel bad because I know he leans, and it's not just this. He does a lot of different kinds of food, but he leans Cajun New Orleans, and he does a fantastic job. But I agree with Devo, just because it's such a standard dish that the fact that he does it different stands out, right? Like red beans and rice is solid. He does it better, fine. But you go all throughout New Orleans, and a lot of the other stuff he does, really good job. But it's the kind of thing you get other places. When you get lasagna, it's usually very heavy and very overwhelming. But the way he does it, it makes it lighter, and it makes it almost fluffier, and it's just different than any lasagna.
Yeah, he uses the crepes instead of the regular pasta noodles. It makes it light and fluffy. His sauce, he uses a little bit of, I think, the bechamel, whatever. It's just Tom's Louisiana Kitchen is if you go on Facebook, he's been doing some mobile runs where you order in advance, and then he'll like bring it to like 4 different locations on a Saturday. I know he's also preparing for the big game next month. He's going to be doing a bunch of catering, full pans of lasagna for people who are having big game parties. Why can't I say Super Bowl? Like, is somebody really going to come?
You're allowed to say Super Bowl unless it's an advertisement. If you're okay. Advertising, come to this place to watch this game. The NFL has partners that pay a lot of money to say that game's name in
If
that.
if they find this needle in the
They
internet
find all the
haystack,
that's the problem. They're very good. Like people joke around on radio. Oh, they'll never know. They're weird. They have people in every city, and
So-
they're very weird about it. That's why I'm
but
neurotic about it.
where does this fall? Like Tom T is not paying me. I'm just doing an unpaid testimonial because I love the guy and his food, and I'm just mentioning that he's going to be preparing a bunch of food for Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, does that cross the line? Am I going to have the ghost of Pete Rozelle and Paul Tagliabue? I don't even know if he's dead or alive, and Roger, whatever his name is, up my behind, or what's going to happen?
I don't know. All I know is Tony Segreto, who's been in broadcasting for literally 4 to 5 decades. He's much like you, where it's one, he doesn't care. He doesn't follow the rules on this. Whenever we do Texas Roadhouse stuff, he throws that term in there a lot. Look, we haven't gotten popped
He's
yet.
Tony Segreto.
We haven't gotten
It's
popped
like
yet.
you're not going to come after Tony Segreto, just like I'm not ever going to go after Anthony Bruno for anything he ever puts on a plate. Because, well, actually, I did when I reviewed Andy's Live Fire Grill. I kind of took a shot at the pork chop because they came out like shoe leather, and I kind of included that line. And he's never let me forgive that. He's never let me live that one down. And it's kind of a miracle that I'm still alive and have both kneecaps intact.
It is.
I saw Anthony Bruno last night. Talk about class individual. It's one of the things I love about Runway, Defo, is that one of the three major, the partners there, it's Falsetto, who's the young gun. And then they've got Anthony Bruno, the Pope, and Pat Marzano, who is also involved in the taco craft and used to found the wildly successful Anthony's Coal Fire Pizza, which they sold for a big number. But one of the three of them is always on the premises, basically at Runway 84, which is why it's that personal touch, the hospitality touch, which I love so much. Speaking of hospitality, you see there was a couple of Houston's posts on the group over the last few days.
Was really not happy about the location that you have an issue with, and they were a fan of Houston's. And before I could even jump in, of course, you had already commented.
Have you been there recently, Defo? I mean, you live nearby, right? Do you ever?
I used to go there. I haven't been in years.
Okay. Well,
even without the rules, I just found there were better places that I could find.
It's not a good value anymore. They charge a lot of money. They think their shit. Oh, I'm sorry. They think their stuff don't stink. And I could deal with without the attitude and without all the rules. And I call it the house of no, and it's a trigger for me. And you know this, fans of the show know this, that basically they are the. Well, I'm gonna let it go. You know what I'm gonna do today? I'm going to do a contest winner, but first I want to get 2 breaks in before Paul joins us, because I got a lot of stuff that I want to get to with him and that he wants to get to. So I want to kind of free up a lot of the airtime on the second half of the show. Paul Mecurio, very talented guy, is bringing his one-man show, but it involves audience participation to the Broward Center this Friday night. Now, it conflicts with the great barbecue battle event that the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival is conducting. I'm very pleased to report that the grand tasting on Saturday is a complete sellout. So no more tickets. Don't ask me. Don't use the Lunchbox promo code for Saturday, but you can still use it for the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday brunch events. And visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. It's here, vlfoodwine.com. Go online now. I expect many other events to sell out in the next 24 to 48 hours. So get your tickets while you can. vlfoodwine.com. Tonight, I'll be going to the kickoff dinner. That's sold out. There are several other dinners around town. Just look around. A couple of them, there's a few seats remaining. And then there's also some great seminars. Our friend Roberto from Union Bar and Kitchen is having a wine seminar. He's a really high-grade sommelier, and it'll enhance your wine education with that. And then, of course, the signature events. Use the promo code Lunchbox. We'll be doing a show Thursday night at the it's called the Backyard. It's down by him or she in Fort Lauderdale, and we have it's called the Walk and Roll. All kinds of great Asian bites. We'll be on hand talking to some chefs, local celebrities, and whatnot. It's going to be a fun time. vlfoodwine.com. You had something you wanted to pipe in, Lubie?
Well, I was just going to talk about Roberto, because that's a lot of the time you hear wine dinner and people who aren't aficionados tune out. Like, that's why I really enjoy Roberto and his wife, because he is a sommelier, and you think it's like Spain, France, and Italy, like 3 times over. And he is really educated in it, but he loves it so much that he's infectious. And like the way when he gets into the wine, even if you're lay, like my wife and my in-laws love it. I usually tune out when people start talking about the specifics, but he's so passionate about it. And he's fun when he does it. Like, I can't wait to get to one of these wine.
No, you've hit on something. A lot of the
He's great at it.
personalities they bring in are infectious and they're passionate about food. That Jason Smith, who the Lord Honey guy, he's going to be there. Nancy Fuller, great baker. They're going to be all around. And I'm infectious too. I'll be judging some of the events. But for me, you could maybe get a stomach bug or norovirus. No, I'm all better. So don't worry about that. But VLFoodWine.com, get your last chance tickets now and use that promo code Lunchbox for additional savings. All right, let's take the first break. We'll come back with a contest winner and some more chat about local food and sports after these words.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligan's, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to for the finest poultry and the freshest fish. Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway, just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining, and they are now featuring a monthly lamb roast brunch on the first Sunday of every month. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations. Hey, we're back on the Lunchbox, a home show. We're going to be joined by Paul Mecurio in a few minutes. He is a very talented comedian. He writes for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and we'll be talking food and comedy with him. He's bringing a show to the Broward Center this Friday night. It's called Permission to Speak. It's a lot of fun. You could go get your tickets at browardcenter.org, I believe is the link. But meanwhile, it was a very good weekend for the horses, for everybody. Defo won. I gave out a winning angle on Friday. Did I mention it on the air Friday? I forgot. But two Todd Pletcher first timers, and my angle is in these maiden special races on Saturdays in January. Pletcher always breaks out his big guns, and I still am in shock. He had like two of them running in the same race, and one of them won. And I had that. It was a modest 7-2. But in the second leg, it was a horse for the Ripoli stable, Mike Ripoli, Grande. As opposed to Forte, but Grande was 9-1. I couldn't believe it because there was a 1-2 Brad Cox horse that was in that was supposedly the fastest thing since sliced bread. And oh no, I'm sorry, that was in the other race. Camp Hell was another 1-2 shot that went down in flames. Grande was 9-1. I cashed big money. Defo cashed. One of our regular viewers, Todd Guzzato, had a horse. He owns a horse that won his maiden race at Parks. He was only 4-5, but it's better than losing. And our man Sheldon G, who's in from Vegas for a stretch, he had a horse running up in Tampa in the finale. Did he give that to you, Defo? Because it was called Eddie the Great. I completely forgot to put money down on it, and it also won at like 7-2 or 9-2.
Nice.
So everybody's cashing tickets.
Nice.
I also, basically had so much winnings that I played this poker tournament yesterday, and when I went down in flames running queens into kings, I didn't even care. I just went running right to runaway 84. So it's a beautiful day. How did you get well with $6? How do you do that? You just like parlay exactly
Cashing tickets.
That's a good roll. Isn't that the best feeling when you're down to your like last $10 and all of a sudden you end up coming home with 200 or 300?
I'd rather be up 2 dimes after the first race.
Yeah,
Not a great feeling, no.
No, but the get out,
No, that's good because I have money for the week, so it's good.
Yeah, the get out is a great feeling. And speaking of a great feeling, we've got a contest winner to celebrate right now. And this is a good one because I always like when people who have never won or who haven't won in a long time do so. And that is the case this week. Again, the contest for National Hot Pastrami Day, which is tomorrow, I did a kind of historic place in Miami-Dade. It used to be known as Stevens Delicatessen. It's in Hialeah. It got taken over by the Kush Group, and so now it's known as Kush Hialeah or Kush by Stevens by Kush. I accepted any permutation of the answer. There was 5 people who then advanced to the final tiebreaker, which was yesterday's Eagles Green Bay Packers game, because nobody picked the winner of the feature race at Gulfstream, but 5 of them had the second place finisher, which was number 6, One Sharp Cookie. The number 9 was the winner, 7-1, and nobody had that. I don't even know the name of it. I didn't have it either. It really ruined my pick 3s and everything, so I was upset. But One Sharp Cookie, the winner. And then it goes down to yesterday's game. All 5 had the Eagles winning by various margins, and the one who came closest, congratulations to Virginia Goodfellow, also known as Ginny Goodfellow. She has won only one time in the 2+ years we've been doing it, and that was all the way back in June of 2023. So that means it's almost 2 years since her victory. And congratulations, Ginny. You and a guest have won an all-expense-paid Sunday brunch for 2 at 10 Palms at Gulfstream, including 1 mimosa apiece, tax and gratuity included. I love when there is new, fresh faces back on the scene. So keep on trying, people, and tell all your friends. Contest every Friday when we go out to Gulfstream 10 Palms. Fabulous stuff. Okay, now that the contest is done, I did wanted to talk a little bit about, well, the big salami. Would you be a little bit, I guess, disconcerted if a woman sits at a poker table? She was the last one to get a seat at the table. And I could tell right off the bat that her energy was all wacko because everybody's there at the table. I have my AirPods in, my sunglasses on. I'm trying to be in like cool, like down low mode. And she sits next to me and another guy, and she all of a sudden is like, "You guys are over the line. You got to square the table. I need room. Your legs are spread open, blah, blah." And she just starts yelling at us. And I had my AirPods in. I say, "Excuse me?" And, the way it works is you're supposed to be in between the cup holders at these tables. Mm-hmm. And she just came out with this like crazy, like she's just like yelling at the guy to her left. I take out my AirPod. I said, "Excuse me, is there a problem?" She goes, "You're over the line too." I was like, "I haven't moved a freaking muscle," and I started like I got a little bit perturbed. I got into my Brooklyn high dudgeon mode because, she just was like, I think it's part of people's game. Sometimes they try to rile the players at
100%.
the
I was
table.
gonna say she's trying to
So
mess
they
with
get upset. And then I just start yelling at, they had to call the floor. They had to tell everybody to settle down. Otherwise people would be given suspensions and, but I, me, I'm mouthing off. Right. And as I'm mouthing off, one guy who was also quiet behind sunglasses at the table looks up and he goes, "Are you Mike Mayo?"
Of course. Good
From
job.
that Facebook group.
Good job, man.
And I was like, yeah. And I said, for once, the internet persona is exactly like the person you get in real
good
life. I don't know about for once, but usually I'm a pretty mellow, nice guy. But me and this woman, it was funny. And she says, "I'm the Big Salami." I was like, "You're a woman and you have your nickname is Big Salami? I don't want to know this story." Anyway, flash forward an hour later, we're best buddies. Like we ended up cool, breaking the ice. I start talking and I start, she starts asking about restaurants. I'm giving her every restaurant name in the book. She's looking for a vegan place. She's looking for a stone crab place that's not Joe's. She's looking for, so like, I'm giving her all these recommendations, Kaizen sushi and blah, blah, blah. And so she was loving me. And she, of course, then she proceeded to knock me out anyway. But after the dealing with the Big Salami, and she's from Montreal, Canada, by the way. And I asked her, "So you're from Montreal. Do you know what the difference is between smoked meat and pastrami?" And she said she had no clue. That was a topic from the other day. Have you been to Montreal ever, Defo?
I want to say no.
Okay. It's a good thing because actually, Montreal's a pretty good city for like 4 weeks a year when the weather is actually bearable. The rest of the time, it gets pretty cold and lousy. But anyway, once I was talking to the Big Salami and I was telling her about different restaurants, I got the big potato on my brain because I mentioned to her about Runway 84. So one thing led to another, and that's that. Meanwhile, I think we should take our second break because it seems like Lubie is trying to punch in Paul Mecurio, and we should get the second break out of the way. So we'll only have one break at the end left after that. And again, congratulations to Ginny Goodfellow for winning the contest. And we'll be back on the Lunchbox with more and Paul Mecurio after these words. Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed. Looking for great seafood that's a little further inland? Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C, 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and information. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. It's a home show Monday. It's a Tropical Acres Monday, and since the food event at Heritage is tonight sold out, why don't you go to Tropical Acres? It's half-price wine night and half-price happy hour in the bar. You know where it is, 2500 Griffin Road, Tropical Acres. Been in town. Well, it's been going for 75 years, and I go there every other week. I love Tropical Acres, a Tropical Acres Monday. Okay, without further ado, you can see we are now like the Brady Bunch here or a CNN political panel. All the boxes are being filled in. I don't know whether
you don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot.
I don't know whether he's an X or an O, but he is a friend of the Lunchbox show. We welcome back for a return engagement in advance of his Friday night one-man show, but it involves the audience's call, permission to speak. It's going to be right here at the Broward Center on this Friday night. Go to browardcenter.org for tickets. They remain. You could do a doubleheader like me. Go eat some barbecue at the food festival and then go watch Paul Mecurio. Paul, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hey guys, great to be back. Had a great time the last time. You didn't send me any food though. I was waiting for like a shipment.
Well, I was waiting.
Pasta and meat.
We figured maybe after the show Friday we can meet up at some of the late night spots.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll make Defo pay that cheap.
We'll make him. I have a previous engagement right after the show. I'm out of it.
Getting Defo to pay is one of the hardest nuts to crack in South Florida.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
So, and I forgot, it's a little bit later, I think, than we spoke to you last time. What stage of the day on the Late Show is it? Has Colbert gone past his cocaine and bourbon fueled rage? Is he now in the hyperbaric chamber or in the little girl's clothes? What is going on right now?
He's in the hyperbaric chamber, but soon he will come out and his entire body will be shaved. Because it's just, we call him the hairless chinchilla. It's all part of a thing and there's a lot of lathering with lotions and Vaseline. It's a whole thing. So we've got, what is it? We start taping in 4 hours. So there's a lot of preparation. And then you have to stick a pole up his ass just to get him to stand up straight. So it's a whole thing.
This reminds me, have you ever played Cards Against Humanity, Paul? Because I was in a very embarrassing spot over the weekend. Me and my girlfriend went to a friend's party, and the friend had two teenage daughters. One of them was 15 and played the game with us. And one of the cards that somebody gave to the 15-year-old that she read aloud and that she picked as a winner was, I can't even say it on the show, but I'm going to because of the internet. Jesus. Daniel Radcliffe's delicious asshole. That was a card.
Wow.
God.
That is so weird because there's a new restaurant that opened around the corner from my apartment, and that was one of the specials at this restaurant.
I would have thought at this point it would be Timothy Chalamet, but you know,
Oh, Jesus.
No, you got to go to like Tavern on the Green for that. You got to go really high end with a special Béarnaise sauce. Oh my God. Yeah.
I can't believe I just told that story.
It's
and I
not
can't-
like the Defo tip of a penis special, which a lot of people are a big fan of.
and
But
that was
Don't
another
underestimate
card.
it at market price. That's the key right there. Depends on the
Oh.
day what it's worth.
No, and that was another card. It wasn't Defoe's, but it just another card was the tip of the penis. I haven't played that game in a while, and I should stop talking about it now before I lose all my sponsors. All right, Paul, I guess let's talk about this show, and I think you have a clip from it. Just how excited? What exactly happens? We talked about it last time, but
it's this Friday, January 17th at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. People can go to browardcenter.org for tickets. And yeah, it's basically I tell stories, you know, from my life, my stand-up in it, but also audience members. You know, there's always something going on in somebody's life, and you get these amazing stories from people. And we have a clip from the show. We could talk about it afterwards. But in this clip, this is a blind trio. A wife, a husband, and her sister. They're all blind, and I'm just talking to them and getting to know them. And this one woman is a real pistol, and you'll see.
Yeah. Are you sight impaired?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you completely blind or sort of blind?
I have a little bit of vision.
I would say blind. I don't think you want me driving.
You definitely
I'll do the jokes, lady. All right. You're Miriam?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been married to Miriam?
Well, we've been married for like 5 years, but we've known each other for...
Since 1997. He can't do math. It's 27 years.
The chick with the plans. What are you talking about, Mecurio? You've been exposed. I saw her on Saturday Night Live 3 weeks ago.
I tell you what, though, Paul, I think I just got flashbacks to Friday's show at Gulfstream because talk about 3 blind people. It was me, Defo, and the Professor Ken. We couldn't pick a winner on Friday. It was very sad, but
Yeah, that's right. Three blind mice.
3 blind
I
mice.
loved her because she just didn't care. She was just out there and like whatever. And she reminds me, like, my mother's a lot older and she's not blind, but she reminds me of my mother's very like outspoken, very like whatever. And oh, by the way, since this is a food show, my mother ruined the holidays. Here's a rule: like, if there's a really good dish in your family, don't try to improve on it. We like it the way it is. You know what I mean? Like, she makes a great apple pie. Years, loved it. Perfect crust, lovely cinnamon, little ice cream. What'd she do this year? She puts raisins in the apple pie.
Oh, no.
No. Listen to me. You don't put raisins in an apple pie. You don't put them in a scone. You don't put them in a muffin. You don't put them in a cookie. You know where you put them? You put them in the toilet. That's where you put them. Because
You could
think
put them in
about this.
Daniel
Listen.
Radcliffe's delicious. Oh, no.
Right, exactly. Well, that's a special. Only a few people can get that. Well, what's a
Remember-
raisin? A raisin's a grape that couldn't cut it as a grape. What, I didn't like it as a wrinkly brown raisin, and they put it in that red box with an underage girl on the outside. You think, hey, maybe something good's going to happen here? No. You look inside, it's an old age home for fruit. That's all it is.
Hey, you know, speaking of the holidays and holiday traditions, I saw something that blew my mind. We have this local great Italian market in Hollywood called Mimi's Ravioli. And, you know, like panettone, fruitcake, that's one of those things traditionally, like, nobody likes it, nobody eats it, but it's got the
Right.
little dried pieces of the fruit in it.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I saw something that shocked me because when I went there for Christmas Eve to pick up some stuff, they had a whole display case of these different now new panettones that don't have any fruit in it, and it actually has like pistachio cream, and you could get it's just like a basic pound cake with pistachio cream, but they market it as panettone. What's your view on that?
Somebody just told me to get that without the fruit in it and you cut it up in slices, and it makes amazing French toast. Someone just told me that.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and I know because I had 2 slices and had sex with it, and it was amazing. And
Pistachio cream
I'm
is really
Close the deal.
Now, Ed, let me ask you this: do you know either personally or like any family friends who's ever received a traditional panettone and actually eaten it?
No, I don't. But I was given a fruitcake once and was so insulted that I did a whole shot on it with my Oldsmobile Cutlass. I'm not making this up. I put it in the driveway and I rode over it and tried to do a whole shot, and it was so strong that it ripped the rubber off my tire, and no dent was made to the fruitcake whatsoever. So, and by the way, speaking about Italian, and we got a lot of Italians here, and maybe watching whatever. We had like part of the traditional family, the antipasta and all that stuff, and there was mortadella on the thing. And I'm thinking about mortadella. It's like somebody thought, you know what, bologna is a little too healthy. What can we do to it to make it completely heart attack piece of food? I know it. Giuseppe, we put a hunks of fat in the bologna, and then you eat it, you have an instant heart attack.
Hey, did you get to see? Was it your uncle who has the cold cut refrigerator hole? And then slices it.
Oh,
on
my
his
Uncle
own
Archie
slicer?
with the meat slicer. It's got to be fresh. It's got to be fresh. Yeah, he's like, in his house is so pristine and neat and whatever. My house, my mother's house, a pigsty, because always working in the family furniture business. Because you think Italians, people think like the really super neat house, everything in its place, plastic on the furniture, and you go in that one room, it's the special furniture, it's the plastic, and you sit in it within 2 minutes, you're sitting in a pool of your own sweat, right? And
they call
and on
that
same.
I'm sorry, did they call that the JD Vance room because it's protected?
Yeah, exactly. In that same room with all the furniture, there's a picture of the Pope, Jesus, and Frank Sinatra. And the Frank Sinatra picture, the Frank Sinatra is 3 times the size of the Pope and the Jesus picture. Right? So everybody thinks if you're Italian, your house is really neat. Our house was the opposite because we were always working all the time. This is how bad our house was. Someone broke into the house and they took the stereo. They didn't touch another thing in the house. They were in and they were out, okay? A cop comes over to take a police report, stands in the middle of the living room, and he goes, "Oh, my God, this animal really ransacked the place." Ransacked the house. I'm like, yeah, he was crazy. He left salami out all day.
Hey, so let me ask you, Paul, you're doing Orlando, I guess, Saturday night. Are you doing any other Florida cities this go around? Or
No, I'm doing Orlando the 18th at the Dr. Phillips Center. That's a return engagement, as they say. Nice. I'm coming back for second. And then and this is my first time at the Broward Center, which I heard is beautiful. Okay. Yeah. But we want to come back. We actually want to go over to the West Coast and stuff. And so like we're really excited about it. And my wife, no more than anybody, just to get me out of the house because I am so annoying. My dog finds me annoying. I swear to God, my dog, when I walk into the room, she gets up, she gives me a dirty look, and she walks into the other room. I'm not making this up. She literally, I walk in, she's like, "Oh, this asshole again," and she walks into that room. And then if I walk into that room, she looks at me like, "Really? I just got comfortable in here. Okay, here's the deal. You're the asshole in that room. I'm in this room. Let's just keep it apart, okay?" And my wife's like, "Well, it's just your voice. She finds it annoying." I'm like, "Do I sound like a vacuum cleaner? What are you talking about that she finds me annoying?"
Lubie, you got something?
I was just gonna say, your stand-up is classic. We've seen you. We've talked to you about it. You came up with this one-man show where you combine the worlds. And you said the last time we talked with you, you said, and I found this interesting because people do this, doing the show I've done with Defo for years, and then even with Mayo, where we go to restaurants, people are always curious about how you keep the conversation moving. How do you never have, quote unquote, a dud? And you said, no matter who you've talked to, there's no plants, as much as Defo was joking. You said you like that it's spontaneous. You like that it's original. You like that it's in the moment. So you'll just go up to people. And you said, 100% of the time you get gold in some form, in some way. How can you throw yourself out there without a net? I just find it because you're very organized. You're very detailed. detail oriented. This feels like the total opposite, right? Like you're going into a crowd, and yes, South Florida, you're going to get some characters, but every city, I guess you would think they have characters, but to know no matter what, this person's going to give me something like that feels like very death-defying, daredevil type stuff. And look, the clips you're showing us look fantastic. I can't wait to go, but it's very interesting that you've done this, and it is very different than a lot of things we've ever seen.
You know, you're absolutely right. I'm scared shitless to do the show now. Thank you very much. way to psych me out.
Have you seen the people around the Performing Arts Center?
There's a couple of
no, you know,
tough show. We're hoping we can help out. You got Lubie's laugh will be in the audience.
Exactly.
There you go.
Well,
Lubie, you've been to my show before, my stand-up shows, and you know how I like to talk to the audience, and I know you've always loved that. And so you don't have to have characters. You just have to have people with a pulse, because everybody has a story. Everybody watching, everybody listening, there's something in your life. So am I nervous before I go out? Yes, that's why I do so much cocaine. And come back to the green room before the show.
Gummies are your friend if you need to be.
Exactly. But you know, it's so what I do, I think it's that second, you guys interview people all the time, you know, and you're good at it. You just ask that second, third, and fourth question, and you get these amazing stories. And so that's what's happening. And I'm doing a lot of my own stand-up in the show too. But like, I had this guy, and he looked like he was in a bad mood. And I said to him, what's going on? He goes, yeah, I just broke up with my girlfriend. I go, what happened? He goes, well, she wouldn't listen to me. I told her not to shoplift at CVS. And I'm like, wait, did you just say at CVS? He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah. Anyway, I taught her how to shoplift. And I go, wait, did you just say you taught your girlfriend how to shoplift? He goes, yeah. He goes, that's how I make money. I shoplift. But I shoplift at nice places like Saks and Bloomingdale's. And she was nagging me and wanted to learn how to shoplift. So I said, no, you're going to just ruin it. You're going to shop at a stupid place like CVS. And she wouldn't stop bothering me. So I finally taught her. And sure enough, I get a phone call. Now, the whole time, this guy thinks this is normal, because he doesn't think there's anything wrong with shoplifting. It's just don't shoplift at stupid places. Like, so
go big or go home.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So I go, so what happened? He goes, well, sure enough, I teach her. Middle of the night, I get a phone call. Yeah, she got arrested at CVS for shoplifting lipstick and a hand mirror. And I go, what happened? He goes, she finally nagged me. I went down to the CVS. She was in the back of the squad car. We got in a huge argument, and I broke up with her. I go, when? A couple of weeks later, he goes, nah, the night that right there in the squad car. He goes, screw this. I don't need this aggravation. And the place is like, what? Like, what just happened here? So, like, there's always a story. There's always something. And you know, I had a woman. Her name. I said, your name's Nydia. I said, what's your name? She goes, Nydia. I said, Lydia with an L. She goes, no, Nydia with an N. I said, oh, that's an interesting name. How'd you get that name? That's all I said to her. She goes, oh, my father got my mother pregnant with me, but at the same time was having an affair with a woman named Nydia, and he named me after the woman he was having an affair with.
Meanwhile, we're gonna have that was. I was telling earlier before you joined us, I was playing a poker tournament yesterday, and this very obnoxious woman sat down next to me, and her nickname was the Big Salami. So I think we're going to have to find the Big Salami and bring her to the show and find out exactly the origin story of how a woman gets to be nicknamed the Big Salami.
The Big Salami. Yeah. There's got to be video attached to that. Absolutely. You know,
it's far worse, though, if you're introduced to your new cellmate and he refers to himself as the Big Salami. I don't care if you're playing poker. It doesn't bother me.
Oh, man. Bring on the pistachio cream. All right. Hey, Paul, I hope you got a couple of more minutes, because I did want to ask you, I have a lightning round, because I know you're from Rhode Island. I know you've been well-traveled. I had some food and other questions, kind of lightning round involving New England and other places. But before that, I just wanted to ask you kind of a general question. Since you're a very talented comedian, and again, working without a net this weekend, this Friday at the Broward Center, it's going to be great. And that's really daring. And I guess it keeps the adrenaline and the creativity flowing.
Keep the juices going. Yeah.
What is the most comic or the funniest thing you've ever eaten? And don't make it anything involving sex.
The funniest thing I've ever eaten?
Yeah. I put him on the spot. I know this is a toughie.
Oh my God, the funniest thing I've ever eaten. The grossest thing. I mean, weird,
Ridiculous.
chocolate covered grasshoppers. I ate one of those.
Nice.
That
Yeah,
counts.
that was, yeah.
But did it make you
And then
laugh?
no, it just made me
Oh,
hop
you're right, a
around
Met
really
game?
weird. Like I was just hopping around for like.
They have that at the concessions. They do in Seattle, I think. I believe they do.
We have special concessions at Permission to Speak, my show. Your chocolate covered that. It was a weird, crunchy thing, and no, it didn't taste like chicken. It tasted like a friggin' grasshopper. Okay, that's what it tasted like.
I ate silkworms once, and you know what? It was quite good because if you saute anything with garlic and you put it over some rice, you can eat it.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with garlic and rice. It works for everything. Take the Italian, put the Italian thing in it, and whatever, and it's like, my whole family, I don't know. There's a whole thing like, by the way, cheapest family on the face of the planet. My sister-in-law gave me a lottery ticket for Christmas. A lottery ticket. Yeah. Nothing says I give a shit about you less than a 1 in 400 billion chance of getting a gift. I scratched it off. It was a scratch off, and it was weird. It said, your sister-in-law really hates you. It was a weird thing to see.
It was funny. Funny you mentioned that because my girlfriend gave out scratch off tickets to a bunch of people, including me, and I have a $10 winner that I was meaning to redeem today. Thank you for reminding me. All right, I know you got to go, but can we do like 2 minutes of lightning round? Real?
Yeah, I can. I got time. I got nowhere to go. Do I look like I
didn't
have
know
a
if you
life?
had a
Come on,
Zoom
look at me.
meeting, if you had to, take Colbert out of the cryogenic tank or whatever, however that works. I'm sure it's a very detailed ritual every day. But all right, here we go.
And I'm going to see Defo this weekend. You're coming, right, on Friday?
I'm going to be there. Yeah, I wouldn't miss it. I mean,
right.
I have to say that on our Bleacher Brothers interview, you were absolutely hysterical, and received a great response. So, and people were asking if I could get them free tickets. I told them. Otherwise,
this
I
is where.
No,
this,
but
this
no,
is,
it's going to be great.
No, whenever I go on the air with Defo, it costs me money at the end of the day. I end up.
Bless.
That's funny. All right, let's start with some food things. I assume you've been to Tampa. Is that true?
Yes, I've been to Tampa.
Okay, Burns Steakhouse or Mons Venus?
Burns Steakhouse.
Okay, let's go Rhode Island. Stuffies or clam cakes?
Neither, because there aren't any clams in either of them. Okay, you can suck it. Here's the thing. You want to I defy you to find a hint of a clam in a clam cake. So people don't know what a clam cake is. It's a ball of, again, the Italians go, what can we take that's healthy and then crush your health with it? They took dough and they go, let's fry it and then pretend it's healthy and put fish in it. And they cut like a little piece of a clam and they put it in. And then Magellan couldn't find the clam in a clam cake, okay?
And could you tell people what a stuffy is?
And I know that's funny because my wife laughed at it and she hasn't laughed at me in 20 years except when I'm naked. So I know that's funny.
And the stuffy is a stuffed, how do you pronounce it? Quahog?
It's a stuffed quahog. Now, here's the thing. So you got your cherry stone clams, right? They're the little guys. The quahog is basically a big clam, and it's about the size of maybe a hockey puck and tastes about the same. And then you cut that open and then you make it. Now, a good stuffy will be clams casino, which is like a cherry stone clam, and then you put a little lightly breadcrumb and a little bit of bacon. But the stuffy is the same compound that you use to when you have a dent in your wall and you need to plaster the wall. You take a stuffy and you just put it on the wall and then sand it, and it's good.
All right, Half-and-Reffer or Narragansett?
Oh, that's a great question because we used to get hammered on Half-and-Reffer because it has a higher alcohol content.
It's malt liquor, my friend. Yes.
Yes, and Narragansett. My father used to drink that all the time. He'd have 2 cases brought down, and I had to pack them and drink half of them when I was 11. And I would go with the Half-and-Reffer because you want to get drunk fast. And what do you think I did the whole shot on the fruitcake with? I would take some Half-and-Reffer, sat in my mother's car.
Half-and-Reffer got me through freshman year of college up at Tufts. I love that stuff. The Green Death, they called it.
Yes, exactly.
Fried calamari or fried belly clams, also known as piss clams or Ipswich clams?
I don't like either of them. Everybody thinks because I'm Italian, I should like one of them. Well, you can go to hell, okay? Because I don't like either of them. And no one tells me, right, Defo? No one tells me what to like and what not to like.
Oh, you won't get along with Mayo.
Yeah, I'm very judgmental.
Never be on the Let's Eat South Florida.
I
group.
would say
I wouldn't post a
I
fucking
would
thing there. I really would. Yeah. Sorry for the
I would say probably I'd lean toward the see the belly clam. You bite into that, there's a lot of stuff happening after that you don't want to know
It's
about.
kind of gross. You don't want to know.
Yeah, there's stuff spraying around. It could be Old English lemon oil. You don't know what it is in there.
Right.
And
A couple more. I know we got to go. I don't know if you're familiar with the Boston area. I assume you did a lot of shows up there. Newbridge Cafe, or the Hilltop Steakhouse. Are you familiar with either one of those? I think one of them is gone. The Hilltop is gone.
I got to go with the Golden Corral. That's my call right there.
A cannoli. A cannoli
I
from
don't have
Mike's.
that kind of money.
There you go. Cannoli from Mike's of the North End, or from Little Italy Ferrara in New York.
There's a guy, Antonio, who sells them out of the trunk of his car in Providence. That's where I get them. The one in Little Italy. But you know what? I like cannolis that are like smaller, that don't have too much of the stuff. What do you call what's in a cannoli?
It's a ricotta cheese. It's like a whipped ricotta. Yeah, it's a ricotta cheese.
Yeah, but I don't like a lot of, I like to control my ricotta intake. I'm a very control freak.
You would love this place down here, Mimi's Ravioli, because what they do is they sell you the shells and then the bag with the ricotta, so you get to squeeze the exact amount that you want by yourself. It's do-it-yourself cannoli.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Work for my dessert. What do I look like? An immigrant? Just snuck into the country? Hi, could I just have all the ingredients to make the great thing and kill myself at home?
All right, and finally, not a food question, but just a question: Ted Kaczynski or Luigi Mangione?
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God, you guys are going for it today.
I think that's just a comedy question. Which one is more?
You gotta go with Luigi. He's the paisan, Yeah. Although that head of hair is killing me. He's got a beautiful head of hair, but I think Ted Kaczynski had stuff living in his beard. So I don't know. It'd be a tough call.
Who would you rather eat dinner with? That's the question.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I'd probably say I'd get it to go. Because they both scare the shit out of me.
Or bring me as the food taster or pat down guy and make sure there's no
exactly
weapons.
You know about wine biscuits and pepper biscuits? It's a Rhode Island thing. Do you know about those?
I've never heard of. Tell me.
A red wine biscuit is one of the most delicious things. It's just a biscuit made with red wine. You can have it with coffee. You can have it with a drink. You put some cheese on it.
You dunk it in red wine?
You dunk it in red wine. You crush it in bed and roll around on it. Whatever you want to do, Mayo, whatever you're into, you freak, you can do. But I highly, when I come to Florida in person, I will try to remember to bring some. I can't even get them in New York. I got to get them in Rhode Island. I will bring some down for you guys. They'll probably be completely crushed in crumbs at that point, but I'll bring some down for you anyway. And some stuffies.
All right, Paul Mecurio, folks. He's going to be in town this Friday night. Go to browardcenter.org for tickets. It's going to be a great time. My apologies. I will catch you next time you're in town because I'm going to be busy stuffing my face as usual and kind of getting paid for it. I mean, it's what I do.
That's great. That's great. You're dead to me. You're dead to me. Good for you. Yeah.
Get paid to eat and be judgmental.
You like the side of your car? Because Friday night I'm going to key the side of your car. So just enjoy that there, Chachi.
I'll bring my girlfriends. No. Again, this Friday night, it's a double shot. You could either go to the barbecue event at the Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival, but guaranteed healthier for you and more belly laughs at Paul Mecurio. It's going to be a great time.
And also just mention Lubie's going to be there. Defo's going to be there. So we got some celebrity power coming. So if you don't want to come for me, come for them. And of course, Defo will be yelling out during the entire show.
I want you to do this, Paul. I want you to call Lubie up on stage and ask him about the couples therapy that he very, very publicly discloses on the show. They went on Saturday. We ran out of time today. I could not grill him about how couples therapy went.
Well.
But yeah, did you just nod your head and say yes, dear, yes?
Honestly, 100%. Yes.
Did Shirley get the W? I didn't realize there was scores being kept.
I don't know. There's the scores have to be tabulated for later, but you can bring me up. Shirley will be with me, so we're fun.
Oh, well, you know what? If anybody can help figure out a relationship, it's me. I'm sure I won't screw that up for you at all.
Defo too. He is the master of marriages and relationships. So it's all good. Hey, we got
any advice?
Oh, yeah, Defo, any advice? Hire a good lawyer. He's taking the fifth. Wise man. Okay. Paul, thank you so much for your time today. We're going to take our third and final break and wrap up edition of this Lunchbox after these words. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and fresh local fish. A sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hour 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. All right. Well, that was a fun hour. Paul Mecurio, you guys are, I'm jealous. I wish,
He's really good. He's really, Friday the barbecue is a fantastic time, but
me and Professor will be holding the lunchbox fort there. And
it's really fun. Like I only asked him that question sort of as a joke because he actually already did that. Like his stand-up is very interactive. So he's really good at getting the good stuff out of people.
Crowd work. Yeah, they call it crowd work in the business.
But he doesn't do the stuff where it makes fun. Sometimes they're mean and people are weird. Like he just has fun with the audience and he's really funny. But you don't usually see a guy working the audience like that. Like that's actually I don't know, revolutionary, but it's different. And it does feel like it's less organized, which these guys usually are very standardized in what they do. So I'm impressed and I'm very excited to see it.
It's easy to be an insult comic. I mean, I love Don Rickles, and he was hilarious back in the day, but it takes a lot more talent and humanity to actually like draw some stories out of people and then use it in a way that is also funny and endearing. And it looks like that's what Paul does. I've never met the guy. I've only talked to him on this show 2 times, and I could tell I like him, even though he's going to key my car on Friday night. Deal with these things. All right, a couple of words. Going to have a good week this week. Besides all the food festival events that we're going to be doing tomorrow, we're going to be with our friends at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, talking about the big game and all the other playoff games coming up in the weeks to come. If you're going to be hosting any kind of parties, DelawareChicken.com is the place to go. Sign up for their weekly newsletter, get their specials, give them a call, get the stone crabs or the shrimp or some of the grab and go items, that roasted chicken, the soups, the turkey
Again,
chili.
that platter. Just say the platter you had on the lunchbox. That platter was freaking great.
And who knows what treats they'll have in store for us tomorrow. We'll be there at 1 o'clock. Come do some shopping while we're there. Say hello, but don't take our food. Lubie will stab you with a fork. Wednesday, we're going to be, I've completely forgot. Thursday, we're going to be at Batch. Wednesday, we're going to be someplace up in Boca, Prezzo, I think, in Boca Raton. And then with our friend Eddie Pozzoli, a lot going on in Pozzoli world. They just bought a new restaurant up in Parkland in your neck of the woods. It used to be called Deja Blue, but it's going to be turned into something else this summer. His partner, new partner, business partner, Paul Greenberg, who helped found the American Social Chain, is been tasked with opening this new version of whatever it's going to be in Parkland by Deja Blue. So we'll talk with Eddie on Wednesday at Prezzo to get more details. Thursday, Batch, New Southern Kitchen. I'm going to ask Kevin to bring every drink in a coupe glass. I don't know if you saw that one. The woman who went to Batch in Delray Beach. It's a woman who has been part of the group since the first month. Her name is Fern. And I think she lives to troll me. Every place I like, she usually goes there and just trashes it. I was expecting the worst because she mentioned she was going to be going to Batch in Delray Beach. Instead, she loved everything because what's not to love about Batch? We love the food they have at the 3 locations, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and now the new Delray Beach one. But she had to take a shot about, she ordered a straight up vodka with a splash of cranberry, and it wasn't in a martini glass. It was in that round glass. Well, the round glass is called a coupe glass, and it was originally developed, I guess, in the 20s for champagne, but it is also completely appropriate to serve martinis or any straight up alcoholic beverage in a coupe glass, but she doesn't like the coupe glass. And I alerted Kevin Danilo, and Kevin, in fine form, says he's ordering a case of the traditional V-shaped martini glasses just for when Fern comes back. You know what I would do? I mean, this is what separates me from Kevin Defo. What do you think I would do if somebody came in and bitched about something like that?
I want to say.
Yeah,
exactly. You'd wipe your ass with.
It involves Daniel Ratnell.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Had a good time today. Don't forget Casa D'Angelo. People are coming in from out of town and want to impress them. Casa D'Angelo is the place for the finest Italian cuisine. We love Casa D'Angelo. We love all our sponsors.
Yes.
And we also want to thank Paul Mecurio for coming on and sharing some time today. All right, that's it for today. Everybody, don't blow your winnings in one place, Defo. And I'll try. Well, I already did. I blew it last night. Anthony's Runway 84. We'll see everybody tomorrow, and I'll give you a wrap-up of the opening event from Heritage. At
nice.
Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. I'm sure I'll have some Reno stories for you tomorrow. Okay, until then, everybody, enjoy every big stuffed